Welcome SAO survivors, I am back after a long while, and in this week in SAO, I'll cover the major news of the past month or so when I was gone, and we're returning to the usual weekly schedule next Monday, hopefully. For today's video, we got new trailers for Scherzo along with the track list, Unital Ring VI released in Japan, Unital Ring IV English release for the rest of us, Alicization Lycoris Nintendo Switch release, and a couple more things. Welcome to This Week in SAO for all your weekly SAO news. Starting with the anime news, that meaning progressive Scherzo of Deep Night stuff, which we have a lot of. Yesterday, Inside Stories series on Japanese TV for progressive has given us a new 30-second trailer with a couple of new cuts, and of course, since I was gone when it happened, we also have received our first full-size trailer for Scherzo of Deep Night a little earlier. I know a lot of you have been asking for a subbed version of that trailer here on my channel. I am waiting on Celeste to give me a proper render to upload on my channel here, but in the meanwhile you can find the subbed version on the SAO Wiki at Twitter. Link is going to be in the description, and yes, Twitter video quality is still quite bad. Also, do let me know if you still want an explained video for that trailer or not in the comments, and like the video. We do have more than a couple of important stuff in there, including things that finally snuffed out my hope of Neza as well as Kismel and Yofilis being in the movie, sadly. In more Scherzo movie news, week 1 cinema bonuses in Japan have been revealed. 2 different shikishi drawn by Kento Toya will be handed out at random to viewers coming to see the movie on week 1 in Japan. Out of like 10 plus different week bonuses that we're eventually gonna have, you may get like an illustration or a poster when it comes to your local cinemas in the US or in Europe. Speaking of, Crunchyroll France recently announced that the Scherzo of Deep Night is coming to France, Belgium and Luxembourg on December 3rd and 4th, so dear baguette lovers, enjoy being ahead of the curve. I did have some inside info on the Turkish release, but that was before the delay in Japan to begin with, so I'm not sure if that info is still up to date at this point, especially considering we moved the release date of Arya movie like a dozen times back when it was airing. But hey, stay tuned, as more and more regions will likely be announcing their releases over the course of the upcoming weeks. In even more Scherzo news, yesterday SAO Anime Twitter account shared the front and back sides of the soundtrack CD jacket, and we could barely read almost all the track titles, giving us a clear structure of the movie itself. The final couple tracks were not visible, which also allowed us to pretty much confirm the post-boss battle fight scenes will indeed be taking place in the movie. Again, if there is interest for spoilers, I'll sneak that in a little separate video. Do let me know with your comments and likes. Yes, I hate farming engagement too, but apparently YouTube changed stuff earlier this year, and I am once again forced to ask for your forgiveness and likes and comments and all the positive stuff that help engagement to keep the channel afloat. Thank you very much for your consideration. Unlike Arya movie, however, the soundtrack, being just a title list on the back of the box, had no track lengths mentioned, and again, unlike Arya, the length of the movie itself has not leaked yet either, but based on the track list, it will be a packed adventure regardless of the length. So again, do let me know if you want that separate video about what's gonna happen in the movie and what structure. Dengeki G on September 29 came with a Scherzo movie illustration, of course using the marketability of the floor 5 bath scene between Asuna and Argo. But that's the last anime news we got, so moving on to the light novels. Last week saw the release of the next main series SAO title in Japan, Sword Online Volume 27, Unital Ring VI. As you'll recognize from the illustrations I'll be showing as background visuals here, the book takes place in both Underworld and Unital Ring once more, as we have kinda come to expect from the previous novels at this point, and we're continuing to wake up the boomer crew of Underworld in preparation of the rebellious attempts threatening our heroes. The book also came with a relatively vague timeline of things that have happened during the 200-year period, half of which is just reminders from Mooncradle, and the rest being mentions from the previous Unital Ring books. And if you want an SAO Wiki podcast summarizing the entire book, make sure to tweet at SAO_Wiki on Twitter so that Gushimena sees how much you're looking forward to that summary. Jokes aside though, he is now a very busy doctor, so do not hold your breath all that much. As for the English side of things here in the Western world, well, we continue to chase Japan's tail. Back on September 20, Sword Art Online Volume 25, Unital Ring IV, English translation by Yen Press got its release. This is the book where a climax between Kirito and the mysterious Mutasina takes place, and the main mysteries back in Underworld start getting set up properly. If you're looking for a podcast summary, our SAO Wikia podcast number 2 has you covered for the entire book. If you want to read it for yourself, Amazon and Book Depository links are going to be in the description. Reminder that there's a mistake on the Underworld map illustration page in Yen Press's print. The description box is copied straight from the previous volume and is describing the Kirito town back in Unital Ring instead. We let Yen Press know when the previews were released a while back, but obviously it was likely too late and physical copies were already on their way to the retailers. Maybe in future prints this may be fixed, who knows? Don't worry though, you're not missing out on anything. The Japanese version simply does not have a description box here at all. It's literally just the map itself. And if you were sad that Japan just got a new volume and we are once again behind by 2 releases, worry not, as Yen Press website now lists SAO 26 Unital Ring V for a March 31, 2023 release. Of course, as usual, this is an early setting of the release date. If the past is anything to go by, a minimum of 2 weeks of delays is what you should calculate with on average. But yeah, we are once again catching up to Japan quite soon for the main series, with Progressive completely caught up. Considering Reki has added Demon's Crest to his roster as his new story, he will likely catch up completely for the main series SAO sometime next year. And yeah, I do have plans for a Demon's Crest introduction video soon. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to not miss that. Moving on to the manga news very briefly, Dengeki Daio once again came out with Ari Aincrad and Sister's Prayer chapters. This makes it the 10th Ari Aincrad manga chapter and the 5th Sister's Prayer manga chapter covering the Mother's Rosario prequel story. Last but not least, the games. I am not gonna go into mobile games until next week, but Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris just had its Nintendo Switch release over a week ago. Depending on your region, it may only be available as a digital copy, looking at you, the United States. And also, if you were curious about the performance, you know how the game runs on the Switch hardware and don't want to jump the gun, it does look decent, although you pretty much lose all the visual fidelity on everything. Kind of a hollow realization on Switch situation, if not slightly worse than that. They certainly have done a lot to make this work on the Switch though. If you want to see it for yourself, Shaonosuke has a side-by-side comparison so you can make up your own mind by watching that one. And no, Variant Showdown still does not have an official release date, and no, the pre-registry on the mobile stores, it's not exactly an official announcement and more so a placeholder in this case. That's it for the catch-up TWiS. Again, make sure to let me know if you want that trailer explained video or the movie story structure based on the soundtrack for some little spoilers. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss future news and deep dives. A lot of you don't follow me on Twitter, but you absolutely should for the fastest SAO news. Hope to see you all again next week. Until then, stay cool.